Hi, I'm Lisa. Welcome to Lelesdesigns. Today, I will show you how to make this dress for your American Girl doll or any 18-inch doll. What's great about this pattern is you can alter it to any style you like. You can go sleeveless, and you don't have to add the pockets. Add ribbon to the waist, or you can use two different fabrics for the skirt and bodice. In order for me to continue to offer these tutorials and free patterns, I just ask that you watch this whole video through and some of the ads. This way, I get paid through YouTube and you get free patterns. It's a win-win for everyone. You can find my free pattern down below in the description. Print it and then cut out all the pieces. Place 1A on top of 1B. Line it up, tape it together. For the skirt, we need to cut a piece of fabric 7 by 24 inches. I like to fold it in half when I have to cut a long piece. I'll line it up at the 7 inches, and I'll use my rotary cutter to cut at 12 inches, which when I double it, it will be 24 inches. For the bodice, cut one lining and one front piece. Put that aside. Then cut 2 pockets. For the sleeves, I folded a small piece of fabric. I placed the pattern on top, making sure the fold of the fabric and the paper line up. Then trace it out. Pin it and cut on the trace line. Take it to the sewing machine and sew a base stitch. Start here, go around the curve, and stop. Repeat for the other side. Sew a 1/4 inch from the edge. Do not do a back stitch. Set your sewing machine to base stitch, and if you don't have a base stitch, set it to the longest straight stitch, which is usually 5. You want to leave some thread in the beginning and at the end. Pull on the top or back stitch to form a gather, then tie one end, then gather till you get the sleeve to about 3.5 inches or the size you prefer. Then tie the other end. Repeat for the other sleeve. Match them up to make sure they're at the same size. I'll flip over my quilter cut and press. You can rotary cut on one side and press on the other. This is perfect for any sewing project. I'll list it down below in the description so you can easily find it. By pressing the sleeve, it will be easier to pin. Let's grab our bodice, and if you're not adding the sleeve, go ahead and put right sides together, pin it, sew a 1/4 inch from the edge, down the back, around the neck, and up the back. Then do each arm. This is only if you're not adding the sleeve. This next step is for adding the sleeves. Grab the front of the bodice and put it aside. Then we'll grab one sleeve, fold it in half to find the center. Line it up with the center arm of the lining. Pin on the opposite side of the sleeve, and you'll see why I'm doing this here shortly. Put enough pins to secure the sleeve in place. Repeat for the other side. And if you want to find the center of the shoulder on the lining, fold it in half like this. Use your fingers to get a crease, and then you'll easily find your center. Line up the center with the sleeve and the lining. You might find it easier to put a pin here in the sleeve. Do it only temporarily. Once you pin the other side, don't forget to take that pin out. You want to make sure the sleeves are securely attached by pins. Let me just show you the other side. That's what I did. Flip it over, and you want to make sure everything's nice and flat. Grab the front of your bodice, and we're going to line it up, put right sides together, and that means if you have a fabric with a design, it should be facing the lining. And you kind of push it down, even it all up. You don't have to be perfect yet because we're going to flip this over. Grab these two pieces and flip. Line up both fabrics together. Pin it. Take it to the sewing machine and sew a 1/4 inch. Start here at this curve, go around, and stop at the end of the armpit. And then we'll start on this side, go around, and stop when you get there. To move this video along, I will speed up the video during the sewing part and pressing. If you'd like to slow it down, you can do so by clicking the wheel on the lower right of this video. Choose playback and lower the speed. On a phone or tablet, click the 3 dots that are on the top right-hand corner. Take out the pins in this area. Then we're going to fold the sleeve down toward the shoulder. We need it out of the way for when we sew around the neck. Just like that, no matter how, shove it under there. See, just like that. Fold this on top, just like that. And we are going to pin. I'm going to pin this down to keep it out of the way. That, and pin over here. Oops. And make sure you got all the sleeve out of the way. And pin it. You can see I have it out of the way. So when I sew right around there, I won't get the sleeve cord in there. Repeat for the other side. Flip it over. Make sure everything is lined up. Flip it back over, and we're going to sew a 1/4 inch from the edge. We'll go down the back, around the neck, and up the back. Clip your curves around the neck and the 2 arms. Make sure you do not clip into the stitches. I did mine off camera, And next we're going to turn it inside out and start with the back of the shirt. You can use the back of an old paintbrush that has a dull edge. I will be using this Clover Holded Precision. The rubber makes it easier to push the fabric through. It's also great for pushing fabric through your sewing machine. Now let's do the other side. Same thing. You want to go ahead and grab your iron. We want to push out all the corners. Alright, now that you have it all pressed out, this part is optional. You could take it to the sewing machine and sew a top stitch around the arms. And if you like, you can use a decorative stitch as well. Or you can just leave it as is and not do a top stitch. We'll put that aside, and then let's grab our skirt. This way we can do all the ironing and all the sewing at the same time. Open that up. And we're going to fold down 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to use my little Dritz hem so that I can fold down 1/4 inch a little bit easier. Now we want to fold down another 1/4 of an inch. We're going to take it to the sewing machine and sew down the hem straight across. Now we'll grab our pockets, and this is an optional if you like to do it. If not, you can go ahead and skip to the sewing part. Place your design facing down. Go ahead and fold your paper on the folded line, just like this. Place it on top. Grab your iron. Fold each piece down according to the number. Flip it over and press on the other side. Now we'll repeat for the other pocket. If you'd like, you can go ahead and pin it. This way you can see where you're sewing. Sew straight across on each pocket. Being we got 3 items we're taking to the sewing machine, I'll explain which is which. This first one, I am doing a top stitch on the bodice, and this is optional if you'd like to do this part. Next, I'm going down the back, around the neck, and back up the back. And if you just like to do it around the neck, you can do that option as well. Next, I'm sewing the hem of the skirt. Then we're going to sew the pocket down. We're going to do the top stitch, and that is on that widest fold that's on the top. For the skirt, we're going to fold down 1/4 of an inch on the side and press. Fold down another 1/4 of an inch and press. You could pin it or clip it in place. Take it to the sewing machine and sew straight down. Repeat for the other side and sew straight across. Before going to the sewing machine, let's grab our bodice, fold it over, line it up, and pin it. Now fold over the other side. You want to line up the side and the bottom and pin it. Take it to the sewing machine and sew 1/4 inch from the edge on each side, straight down. I'm going to sew the skirt first, sewing down each side. Now I'll sew the bodice and sew it on each side. Open up the side seams and press it down. Repeat for the other side. Grab your skirt. We will base stitch 2 straight lines next to each other. The first one will be 1/4 of an inch from the fabric edge, and the second one will be 1/8 of an inch from the first one. We want to start our base stitch right after the hemline here, so make sure you don't get that hem caught in there. Set your machine to base stitch or the highest straight stitch. Don't do a back stitch in the beginning or end. Stop just before you get to the hem edge. For the second stitch, you want to go a little slower because you don't want to be crossing over your stitches. Otherwise, you'll be pulling it out because it will not gather properly. Sew 1/8 of an inch from the first stitch. Now we need to mark the center of the skirt. Mine already has a crease from the fold. If yours don't, fold it in half and press it. Fold it in half again and press it. This will help evenly distribute the fabric for each section. If you don't want to press it, you can use pins instead to mark your spot. You want to grab the 2 top strings or the 2 bottom strings. It don't matter which one you choose. Pull it to form a gather. Gather it till you get to 14 inches. Once you get to the 14 inches, go ahead and evenly distribute the gathers. Grab your bodice. We'll line up the 2 seams just like this and fold it in half. And we can press it with our fingers to mark the center of the bodice. And another option is placing a pin there. We're going to line up the 2 center seams and then the 2 that are on each side. Now we'll put the bodice on top with the right sides together. Pin it. And you want to go along pinning it on one side at a time. Once you get to the seam on the bodice, go ahead and match it up with the seam that is on the skirt. If it don't line up, scoot it over a little with the gathering to match it up. Once you get to the end, you might have to pull on the string a little bit to line up the bodice and the skirt. Now let's pin the other side the same way. Now that you have it all pinned, we'll take it to the sewing machine, sew a 1/2 inch from the edge, and sew straight across. Off camera, I sewed a top stitch straight across. I made sure all the ruffles was facing up. Let's do the pockets. You want to clip the ends of your pocket just like it's shown on your pattern piece. Grab your pocket. We'll line it up with the center seam armpit and the center of the pocket. Then move it over about 1/4 inch. Drag it down. Grab your ruler. You want to measure the bottom of the pocket to the bottom of the hem to be about 1 inch. And you don't have to place the pockets in the same spot as I did. You may put them wherever you like. This was a last-minute decision to add these pockets, so if you like to add these pockets before you gather the skirt, you can do that as well. Pin it. Now you can try it on the doll and see if that's where you want it. Repeat for the other side. You can check to see if your pockets are lining up with each other by folding it in half, and you can feel around. And don't go crazy. If it's not perfectly lined up, believe me, the kids will never notice. But they will notice these awesome pockets that they have for their doll. And they will love it. And if they're anything like my granddaughters, they will have those pockets filled in no time. All right, take it to the sewing machine. And we're going to sew straight down, across, and up. Repeat for the other side. I finished sewing my pockets, and next I'll add the Velcro to the back of the dress. One on the inside and one on the outside. You can use hooks, snaps, or Velcro. I don't suggest using this cheaper Velcro as it always gets caught up in the doll's hair. I suggest getting this ultra thin Velcro. I found it on Etsy. It's about $4.25 for 3 yards. It's soft and the loops don't get caught up in the material or the doll's hair. They have a variety of colors. I will cut a small piece for up here, and you can do the whole length if you like. I will use 2 pieces. I will put one on top, then I will put one on the bottom, take it to the sewing machine, and sew down your Velcro. Now that I got the Velcro attached, I'm going to add a ribbon bow. I will use a 1/4 inch ribbon, and if you like, you can use 1/8 of an inch. I tied them in a bow. I will place mine on each pocket, and if you like, you can put them on the shoulder, in the center of the neck. I will hand sew mine off camera. This sewing project is done, and if you finish your dress, congratulations. There are so many options you can do with this dress. If you want to make the length longer, you can, or you can make it shorter. If you want to add more ruffles, add more width to the waist. You could add lace to the bottom of the skirt, and you can also change the color of the pockets. It's all up to you what you like to do. I literally can't wait to see what you do with this pattern, so don't forget, tag me with your creation at Lelesdesigns1 or email me your picture to my email that is listed down below. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of my video, be sure to hit the subscribe button along with the bell. This way, you'll be notified when my next video comes out. And please share my video on your social media. This way, I can continue to offer free patterns. Thank you. Bye-bye.